Hey guys, welcome to December 22nd, and today I am documenting the fact that I baked a whole bunch more cookies again today. So, amazingly, we went through all those cookies, and like I've said before, I took some to work, and my husband took some to work, and that really didn't leave a lot of cookies left. So I did one last batch, and that's what I'm doing. And this is actually a photo from the first batch of cookies that I never used, but nobody needs to know that little secret except for you and me. So what I'm doing, I am just trying to figure out something to like jazz up this bottom card. I really like the stripes on the bottom, and here I am thinking, oh, I like this little black paper. This has been in the album before. So I just decide to cut it into a 4x3 card shape. And I'm going to layer the Christmas tree on top because if you guys haven't figured it out, I absolutely adore Christmas trees. I'm going to grab one of these little puffy silver stars that I've used before in the album, and I'm thinking that I'm going to put this little banner underneath, and I'm like, cool, it works. It is a lot of green, so I figure I better bring some red in over here. And I grab this little circle that says Happy Holidays, this little buffalo plaid heart sticker, and I'm like, it needs something. So I'm just like flipping through trying to figure out what I want to do. And then I end up going to my cart, which I keep next to my scrapping area, and I have a whole section of labels. And I end up grabbing one of those, and it's a white and red label, so even more red is going right there on the corner. And I figured that that's okay because I have a whole bunch of green on the left-hand side. Now on the bottom, what I'll do is mix up that red and green. And then I realized that the photo is just ever so slightly too big, so I trim off just a little teeny tiny piece of it and get it inside of that pocket. Okay, and I know that this is going to be a 2-page spread because tomorrow I want to use what is on the other side of that snowman sheet for my day. And I just go ahead and use that little burlap ribbon stuff. And I'm just layering up a bunch of little bits. That acetate leaf, I've tried to use multiple times, and it just doesn't ever make the cut. It's not going to make the cut today either. I just go ahead and punch out some of this craft and snowflake paper, and the snowflake part doesn't make it. I end up flipping it over and just using it on the plain craft part, and I'm okay with that. It was just a little bit too much gold right there. The number wasn't really visible. And now I'm just pulling out some stickers and little bits that I can layer up around this calendar sheet. And that chipboard doesn't make it because I feel like it's too thick. And then I'm going to try another Christmas tree. The Christmas tree actually doesn't make it either. And I'm starting to get a little frustrated at this moment because I felt like the two 3x4 pockets came together so easily. Like I knew, like immediately I just saw stuff on my desk and was like, boom, 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 this is done. And then it kind of frustrated me over here on this 4x6 pocket because I didn't really have like a clear vision just by like glancing around at my messy desk, which I still haven't cleaned up. But it's all Christmas and it's all just scattered around, and honestly, it's not bothering me. Like, it's hard to find stuff, but it's not bothering me. Alright, so I throw in this little striped tag, and I try that acetate piece again, and it does not work. So instead of the chipboard, floral, and pinecone, I decide to go with the sticker one. And I know that I need something else over there on that edge. So it's just a matter of figuring out what. And I think it's going to be this little tab that says Mary. I've actually tried to use this little tab before and it hasn't made it on there yet. So I figure I really need to get that going if I want it to actually, you know, be on there. What I end up doing is grabbing this sticker that says Silly Elf, and I'm just going to cover up the elf part where it says Silly December. And my journaling is going to reflect in the silliness of the amount of cookies I've been baking this year. It's so silly it borders on absurd. So we get that done, and I'm thinking, okay, I need to cover up holiday favorites because this is a recipe divider and I'm not using it for recipes. And I'm just looking around and I don't really find anything that's going to cover it up completely. So what I end up doing is just leaving it as holiday favorites and using the little word sticker that says cookies and just layering it up on there. So I get that down and I'm saying, yep, that's good. So now what I want to do is dress up this snowman. And I'm thinking, you know, glossy accents. And then I decide to go a little bit more than glossy accents. And I actually mess up a little bit on this guy. And I guess I didn't realize how slick the paper was that I was using. So I just used my glitter pen and I ended up glitter penning the whole snowman. And then I dried him with my heat tool. And now I'm just pulling out some stickles. And I stickle his scarf, and I stickle the holly leaves, and I stickle his nose. And that makes me happy because I love glitter. So that gets on there. And yes, those are my stickles. I still love my stickles. Some of them are almost empty, and it makes me sad. It makes me glad that, you know, I've used them to that point, but it makes me sad that they are used to that point. And I'm just cleaning up a little bit of the mess that went through onto the snowman himself. And I'm just trying to figure out like which green I want to put on his scarf. And I end up going with kind of like a lime green. And I'm cool with that. Like, I think it looks fine. It looks pretty good. So I go ahead and stickle his scarf, and I use a different color stickle for the holly. Even though they're pretty much the same color, like printed on the paper, I just want the holly to be a little bit different than his scarf. And I'm thinking that I was just going to make this whole snowman, everything on him sparkly. But while I'm sitting here doing this, I'm realizing I don't want him to have a sparkly hat. Like, I'm thinking, nope, that's not going to work for me. So what I do is I end up going over to where I have like my inks and my mixed media stuff and texture pastes and all that and paints. And it's just over on like a table over on the side. And I grab these enamel accents from Ranger, and I grab black, red, and green because I figure I will do his top hat in green and I'll do his berries in red, and I'm not sure what I'm doing with the green, but I just pulled it over because I had it. Now, the enamel accents give me a fit. Like, I end up having like a hard piece, and I cut this all out because it was a huge mess. Now, I didn't realize how slick this surface is because my enamel dot or my enamel accents have started to spread a little bit outside of the boundaries of the top hat, and have done the same thing with his eyes. So I'm going to let that completely dry and see if I need to fix anything or if it really bothers me. So that's going to dry, and then I glue on this Merry Everything. And then I'm going to show you, like, my journaling is going to go right there. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll show you this tomorrow.